Hi, my name is Adam Dalton and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Robotify. And today I'm really excited to welcome you to our first ever product showcase, where we will be showing you some of our latest and greatest inventions that we've been working on for the last 12 months. For those of you that don't know Robotify, myself and my co-founder Evan started a business when we were in high school, where we used to teach local kids how to code using robots. And what we found was beautiful. When you used a robot to teach an abstract concept like coding, the code came to life for the kids and created a beautiful learning experience for the children. But what we found as we got older was that robots were difficult. Educators weren't able to adopt them at scale for three major reasons. The first reason is cost. Robots are just too expensive to bring into education at scale. The second one is accessibility. As we've seen across the world, robots are locked up in classrooms right now because of COVID. But past that, educators were never able to do homework with shared classroom units. And finally, we've got accessibility. Imagine having to charge robots and prepare robots and repair robots every single class and every single year. And so we set out on a journey to try and solve this problem and to build a solution that takes all the best of what physical robotics has to offer and pair that with what educators need and what educators want. And that's where Robotify came from, the world's first fully virtual in-browser robotics platform to help you, the educator, find the best way to teach coding and robotics to your class, while also giving students the opportunity to program robots that they never would have had before. Over the last 6 months, we've seen our community continue to grow in spite of the hardship that is happening in the world at the moment. We're in now over 100 different countries across the world with kids and educators using Robotify in new ways like never before. Our team has continued to expand and to innovate across borders to develop the first global virtual robotic solution. Today, I'm excited to share with you a whole host of updates to the Robotify system, starting off with our brand new course, which is going to change the Robotify system forever. Secondly, we're going to show you a groundbreaking new feature, which is going to allow kids to collaborate in ways that they never have been able to before. And finally, we're going to show you some brand new exciting updates to our existing suite of educator resources, which are going to help you as an educator get to where you need to be teaching robotics in the classroom. This has been a year like no other. Overnight, millions of classrooms across the world have shut down because of COVID-19, and educators and parents were left stranded, not knowing what to do. Worrying about questions like, do they have enough PPE to protect the children when they come back to the classroom? Are they able to deliver a remote program through virtual learning tools like Zoom and Microsoft Teams? And on top of all of that, something that makes us really sad at Robotify, millions of robots across the world were locked up collecting dust in classrooms. But as in every adverse situation, kids find a way to make it work. Our mission at Robotify has always been to find new ways to teach and to educate. We want to empower every single child in the world to be able to code robots and to understand what the future means for them. And so we've built solutions which do this in an equitable and fair way to help people, no matter what background they are, to access the most advanced robotics that exist in the world. Over the last year, a digital transformation has occurred, quicker than we ever thought. But luckily, our team has been building solutions for many years now, which are future-proofed for a post-COVID world, by developing innovative solutions like virtual robotics courses, project systems, and cool ways for teachers to monitor students' progress remotely. But the funnest thing about working in Robotify is seeing the amazing ways in which our users have developed over the years with us as a company. When we started off building a box product, the kids used to love putting it together and enjoying the thrill of putting their pieces and seeing their robot come to life. But as we developed a virtual solution for teachers, what we saw was phenomenal. Students started to adapt and were able to use Robotify for homework and remotely. And during COVID, nothing has changed except an acceleration. More teachers and more students are understanding virtual robots and understanding the place they have in society. And we feel that's going nowhere. And so today, we're so excited to be able to share with you even more updates, which are going to make that journey a little bit funner for everyone involved. As a child, I always had dreams of becoming an astronaut and going into space on a space shuttle to explore the stars. And today, I'm really, really excited to share with you Robotify in space. So you've just met Axel, our lovable brand new Mars robot. The Robotify Mars Fundamental course is going to be the biggest course ever released on Robotify, with over 50 hours of content for one whole semester of learning how to code. It takes a user from the very basics of programming all the way through more advanced concepts using our block-based programming language. Users will interact with the Mars environment that we have made and make Axel perform a series of tasks and solve a series of challenges throughout the lessons. And we've also paired this with some fantastic Educator resources to allow you, the educator, to get what you need out of the Axel and Mars Fundamental course. We're going to take users from beginner to expert over the course of one semester. And this is just the first semester of content. And now the bit you've all been waiting for, a live product demo. Wish me luck. I'm going to show you exactly how the system works on my screen in real time. So as you can see here, we have the learning view. This is the typical Robotify learning system. On the page, you will see what lesson you're on, as well as all the tasks up the top. On the right-hand side, you'll see the environment. This is really the bread and butter of what we've been working on. And this is Axel's town on Mars. You can see that Axel is on a grid. Every single lesson will be done on this grid. And the environment itself is so beautiful. I'm really proud of the team's work here. As you can see, there's things buzzing around and it's full of life. And it's based in the future when there is a human settlement on Mars. On the left-hand side, you'll see my drawers. This is where I can access my block-based programming content. Down the bottom, we can see that there is instructions. And I can scroll through these instructions to understand what's happening in the mission. So what I'm going to do is share with you a live task on the system. And so this task, I have to use my coding to take Axel around the course and collect all of the batteries in a correct manner. And so what I'm going to do is do a live run through, see if I can solve it. And if I can't, I'll hopefully get some help along the way. So what I can do with my coding at this stage is, this is probably just the first lesson here. So we're going to just move forward and count our path out. And so I'm going to plan my path out. So I can see here, if I just make my screen a bit bigger, I can see that I have to move forward 1, 2, 3 to get the first battery. So what I'm going to do is drag my block, move forward, and I'm going to copy and paste that 3 times. So that's going to get my first battery. And then the next thing I'm going to do is find out how to get around here. So once I get there, I'm going to have to go forward 2 more times. So I'm going to paste that 2 more times. And I'm going to drag that onto the bottom of my last program. And so now I can see I've moved 5 times. I should have collected the first battery at this stage. But then what I need to do is turn right and then move forward 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I'm going to put in a turn right block. Oh, but I can see it's denoted as turn left. And so what I'm going to do here is change this to right using the really easy to use drop down. And then I'm going to move it forward 4 times. So I'm going to drag my block in and I'm going to copy and paste that again. Okay? And so I'm going to pull my program together. And so then I should be very close to solving the issue. So I'm going to get my next movement block, as I can see here, because I have to collect the robot and the battery up in the top corner. And so I'm going to turn left, move forward, and then I should be able to complete the rest of the task without turning again by just moving backwards 1, 2, 3 blocks. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move backwards 3 blocks. So I'm going to change this again with the drop down, and I'm going to move backwards. All right. So as you can see here, I've made my program, and it's time to run the code and see if this works. So I'm going to click Run Code, and you'll see Axle perform the movement function. So code is now running. I've collected the first battery. I should now turn, move forward. Let's see if my program's right. Great, it's stopped, moving forward, and now backwards. Amazing. I've completed the task successfully. And now you can see Axel with a lovable cheer that you've got the task correct. And once I get that right, I can move on to the next section. This course, as I said, involves multiple modules. We have a number of ways to learn, and over 360 tasks throughout the duration of the entire semester of content. So plenty to keep your kids busy. And this is an example of some of our more complicated coding. As you can see here, Axel is challenged with going and collecting different boxes and bringing them to the correct location. So in this task, you can see that there is 2 boxes in the correct position. But Axel will have to return this box over to this floating drone to make sure the task is completed correctly. But you might notice something different. On the left-hand side, we're now no longer writing big, long lines of code, move robot forward, turn left, move robot forward, turn right. We're doing something a bit different. We're using a programming concept called loops. As many of you will know, loops are a great way to optimize a process if you're doing something over and over again. And so here you can see our programmer has written lines of code that are repeating twice, turning left, repeating 3 times, turning right, and repeating 3 times again. And that's because there is a pattern. And so if I was to walk through this and to solve the issue, I'd eventually be left with the code that is on the screen at the moment. And as you can see, as we progress, we have more blocks to use. We have more blocks to use to get better at coding and to understand coding a wee bit more. So when I run this code, what should happen is Axel should travel around the map, collect the box, and place the box on the correct grid path. And if Axel does that correctly, the task should complete. So I'm going to run the code here and see how it looks. I'm going to full screen this for everyone to see. All right, so my code is running. This should turn green, and it does. Fantastic. And as you can see, Axel is happy again, which is one of my favorite moments, and the kids just react amazingly to this. So as you can see, I can continue to the next task, and the whole course will be reset, and Axel will teleport. This is a little bit more complicated, so we start looking a bit more into loops. Now, what happens if I get something wrong? We all know in education, it's very easy to get things wrong, especially when coding. So what I might do here is run this program and see what happens. So I'm going to just take a block out and click my run code. And when I click run code, we should see something different happen. So I'm going to full screen, and the robot resets its position. It doesn't know what to do. Let's run the code just one more time just to see what happens. Axel shakes its head and resets until you get it right. And so it's really fun, it's really playful. We try not to discourage children too much. If something goes wrong, we try to encourage to see what can they do differently and put that into action. And so then when we run the correct code, we can see Axel completing a course here. And you can move in and zoom in with your camera. It's really detailed. And now Axel has completed it, and we get that smiling animation that everyone really loves in the most beautiful 3D environment that we've made to date. And as I said, all these lessons are aligned with major world curriculums all across the United States, Australia and New Zealand, and all across the United Kingdom and Europe. We've got major alignment with all the curriculums. And it's been a really amazing journey to develop this course from start to finish. I think Robotify and users were really crying out for this. And I suppose, you know, obviously as a big geek myself and as a kid always dreaming of being able to go to Mars and to go into space, to be able to develop this solution for our users, I think has been a really fulfilling experience. And on top of that, we've also paired it with a number of fantastic educator tools to help the educator understand where things are going. And so this course will be available from next week, which is fantastic. And kids have already started programming in beta, but it's just been phenomenal. 360 tasks in this amazing Mars environment. And this is just the first one. There is some talk that there has been, you know, some communications through the satellite system from, you know, interesting origins, perhaps aliens. And so keep an eye out in the coming months for the next product showcase, because this course will continue to develop. But 50 hours, really exciting, lots of educator resources, and yeah, I can't say enough about Axel, our lovable new companion. So now you've met Axel, and I hope you really love it. Next is something even bigger, something bigger than we've ever done before. A new way to collaborate and engage with a community across the world and put your coding skills to the test. Meet RoboDuel. This is easily one of the most exciting product announcements I have ever made. Imagine, for the first time, engaging in full multiplayer battles that you have to program and engage and compete against other users across the world. That's what RoboDuel is. We took a look at a big market, competitions. Another market which shut down overnight. Robotics competitions is one of the fastest growing segments of the education market, with millions of students across the world every year putting their skills to the tests in physical robotics competitions in big event halls. But what happened when COVID hit was a huge disaster. Physical competitions, international travel, and physical engagement with robotics shut down. And we began to look at how we would address this problem. But not only that, for many years, it's been difficult for kids that don't have money or that don't have the engagement from educators to engage in these robotics competitions because they require a lot of cost, a lot of time, and a lot of effort. And so for many years, the market has been crying out for a solution like RoboDuel, the first multiplayer virtual robotics competition platform that has come to market. We've used everything that we have in Robotify to develop truly a unique solution where users can put their coding skills to the test in multiplayer battles. And through this, we're delighted and very proud to announce a partnership with the REC Foundation, one of the world's largest operators of physical robotics events. We have partnered with the REC Foundation to develop VRAD, a virtual drone programming league where, that's right, on Mars, kids have to compete to become the best drone coder and to collect resources for their base in live battles against other users all across the world. We hope to have over 1,000 teams in year one join this unique competition, fully virtual using Python programming. On top of that, we're also launching a very unique experience for our own users on Robotify, Humans v Aliens. A grid-based puzzle challenge where teams have to fight against each other on a puzzle to solve the puzzle before their opponent. This is a wonderful educational tool for teachers to use in a classroom. And if we think of it, it actually makes sense, right? Because if I was to lose a battle against a friend or a classmate, my first immediate thought is, how do I do better next time? And how you do better in RoboDuel is by becoming a better programmer. So this is not just a unique innovation to have fun. It's a huge educational tool that has a massive impact in schools. It changes everything for us as a company and you as a user. By taking what they've learned, the kids, in the courses that we've developed, like the Mars Fundamentals course, they can now put this to real-life test. and become better programmers on their own in an independent way. And there's no end. There's no 50 hours, there's no 100 hours, there's no 200 hours. This is endless enjoyment for your students and your children to engage in a very safe community across the world. There is no communication between the kids. There is no danger in terms of the communication in the ecosystem. The language is the robot, and the competition is the goal. And we really believe that RoboDuel is the future of robotics competitions. And I'm so excited today to be able to share with you this huge achievement that our team has been working on. VRAD is now live. It will be launching on the 4th of January 2021. You can register today at robotify.com/VRAD. So that's RoboDuel. And look, it's pretty obvious that all the stuff we've spoken about so far is really fun, it's really high octane, and it's perfect for students. But we haven't forgotten about you, the educator. And so for you guys, we've developed a huge update to our Robotify Edu system, which makes it much easier to bring Robotify into your school. On top of all of the existing tools we have, including our analytics system, we've also developed a new way for the administrator, you as a school teacher, to manage your classrooms and to manage your licenses. One thing we've learned over the last couple of months, it's very difficult to get classrooms set up, especially remotely. School administrators are maybe in the office and teachers are working remotely, and it can be very difficult to have that communication. And so we've developed a brand new administrator dashboard, which allow you as an admin or a teacher to manage all of your licenses in a very clean way. I know it seems small, but it's actually huge, because now your students have very little friction between signing up for Robotify and coding on stuff like the Fundamentals course and RoboDuel. And so you're able to now manage every single license, to assign licenses to different classroom and teachers, and also to be able to comprehensively access all of the data you need. As well as that, we've also received some great feedback to say that the Educator resources are too hard to find. And so we own that. And we've developed a brand new feature to store all of the Educator resources for the courses in one central place. At the click of a button, you can easily find all of the Educator resources for every single lesson, every single module, and every single task that you need in one page. And we've added that on top of our existing suite of management tools like the analytics system, the classroom management system, and the new license management system. On top of that, we've also developed a comprehensive free trial system, which is something I'm really excited about too. So we can get your students on, and we can get your teachers on as administrators in the click of a button. A 30-day free trial is now available for every single product that we spoke about today. And we hope that our educators and our community of Robotify makers can make your life easy to get robotics into every single one of your classrooms, even if remote, with all the challenges that there are. Please go to robotify.com/trial to sign up for your free 30-day free trial. Get access to Axel, get access to Mars, get access to RoboDuel, all right now at the click of a button. And we've made it easy for you as an educator to get there. It has been an absolute pleasure to speak with everyone today. I just wish it could be in person and that I could shake your hand and understand what your life is like as an educator in person. I hope to do that at some stage in the future. But for now, I've been Adam Dalton. This is Robotify. Thank you for coming to our first ever product showcase. We're excited for what the future has to hold.